Hey guys, it's Shawn Ziem, the host of the Webtalk Legends Podcast. We are going to have a conversation and we're going to get to know our guest and we're going to dive deep. We're going to find out their story. We're going to go into some tips and tricks and strategies that they use in their daily life in business. We'll go over a couple different tools. Before we even bring him on, I want to share with you an important piece that if you haven't been a part of, webtalklegends.com. It's where we have this podcast. Scott Gerard is the CEO. I want you to make sure you check this out after the show. I wanted to show it to you right now. We have a Patreon that we're all involved with. As you can tell, all the members are joining and coming on board. And I want to make sure that you are aware of how powerful all the people that are on here. There's an older picture of me. That you should check out. If you're on Web Talk, you should check out these challenges because it's all made for you. You can click, check out. All images are here. Watch a couple of videos for you to utilize through a post, all your scripts, all the groups to post into. Guys, it's done. It's here. It helps you grow. Want to share, making sure that you know where to go. And there's a variety of things as far as the challenges, the guidance, check out the contacts. So I want to make sure you are aware of this phenomenal tool. And I'm going to bring on my guest so we can get after it. Let me just go to this screen here. And I'm going to bring on John Roderick. How's it going, my man?
Hey, man, how are you doing?
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for inviting me.
This will be a lot of fun. I want to, before we even get into it, I want people that are tuning in, don't forget hashtag live on the, right now or hashtag replay on the replay. Drop a comment where you're watching us from. And John, can you tell us who you are and what you do?
So, Shawn, I'm first and foremost, I have a team over here at United Real Estate. Slowly growing just to make sure we do everything correctly. But, as the company grows, we grow. On top of that, we own a crystal company called Cloud9 Crystals based right here in Parsippany. We can get into that a little bit later, but, I dabble in a few things, light mining for fire opal, Delta 8 and hemp products. We have a store that just opened up in New Brunswick. We're looking at another one up here in Mine Hill. So we're just, we're overall growing and trying to stay, relevant in this changing market in reality. So
you got to do things to stay alive today. You can't just do what you used to do. And the other things that you do actually help and complement what you're doing anyway, because you're going to have conversations. That's what you do every day, right?
So that's all it is. It's about conversation. Every one of these businesses was built from just a basic conversation. The Delta 8 business and hemp business that I'm into was all because of a listing that I had. If I would have never taken that listing, I never would have got into this side of the business. And that's really created, my specialization in the marijuana industry for commercial space here in the state of New Jersey. It's a very hard world to navigate. And, with that coming into fruition in the state, it's very much needed. That way, people know, it's not a cheap business to get into. So it takes, experts in that field to get it done. Your everyday realtor can't just handle, what the changing market is. You have to be involved. You have to know the meetings and so on. So,
oh yeah. Most certainly. And you are one that's been versed in building relationships. That's why you're building a team. Why is it that you're going down that path rather than just going at real estate by yourself?
The strength of having a team, Shawn, is important, especially in this ever-changing market. Homes these days aren't lasting more than 3 to 4 days if you're lucky. If it's lasting any longer than that, there's probably issues. Or, it's just priced right. And, unfortunately, it's not just getting the action it should. And that happens. But if you don't have a team of people that you can rely on and go back to and work with, it just doesn't work. giving my team things to help them grow is what excites me the most. I took, I'll shout out to Alan on here, who's one of my top agents. Just a little bit of assistance helped him become the top agent back in December. It's no joke. You put that teamwork together, and just the ability to bounce off each other. It doesn't have to be a team. You just have to work together. We're all in this together. Your networking helps grow multiple people. That's what you do. You're the networker. Like that's you help bring us together and get us out there. It's everybody has their role in helping us grow. So it's every interaction you make it a good one. I hate leaving the house without at least a polo on. Going out in a t-shirt, I'm kind of trying to hide away, or if I'm just going down the street to just do, even to the food store, I try to dress as nice as I can. At least at a minimum a polo. I never really wear dress pants anymore. No need for it. But at the end of the day, relations are key. And having six agents, including my girlfriend who's in the other room, just having time to relax helps. I could help her grow her business. The school doesn't teach you how to be a real estate agent. It teaches you how to not break the law. That's about it. Sorry if I'm tearing up at all. I've got a stigma in my right, astigmatism, or a sty in my right eye. So
no worries, man.
Like pull this light right here for a minute before it gets in my face.
But the team growth helps. A lot of the business that we've had this year is from networking within the office and within my team. And even if I didn't bring the person onto my team, I'd bring them into the office and watch them grow. I would rather see people make money. I don't care if I'm involved and you're on my team. My team's only there to help you grow. I don't take a lot. Unlike most teams in the state of New Jersey, I only take 20%. And my networking and the ability to grow these other businesses is what's allowed me to keep my marketing prices down for them. So it's beneficial, either way around. But go ahead. Sorry, I can continue on that all day long.
Now, it was interesting. Before we even came live, we're talking about the opals, and you had found some in Oregon. Let's go down that path. Let's talk about, how did you get involved with rocks?
So I've always kind of been that kid to just, let me find a random geo that, that everybody knows is your little basic quartz geodes. Mm-hmm. I always picked these things up as a kid, and during 2020, when we got stuck in the house more, we had to find ways to make extra money. Real estate wasn't sure, people really weren't moving. It was kind of in a stalemate there for about a month, and we said, how do we generate an extra income in this downtime? And we went to something that we already loved, was crystals, and we had been collecting them, and and I've been picking up rocks since I was a child. Dad would throw them out, I'd bring them back in. Same thing here. Girlfriend would always wonder why I'm bringing in rocks, and I said, they look good. They're whether they have a healing factor or not to them. Certain stones affect me in certain ways. It might not affect certain people in any way at all. But we get this is, for example, a finished product like I presented to you earlier. Sorry with the camera the way it is, but this is a polished fire opal. This is, this something in this finished product is a couple $100, but then we have small raw pieces like this that are just kind of broken down into small baggies to literally giant cups of raw stone getting ready to be broken down into smaller pieces. You can see some of the pieces of higher quality that have kind of fallen to the bottom here, but it's a stone that needs to be in water to keep it moist. It dries out. As you can see here with these ones, the color is super dry because it's sitting in a little baggie. but then you turn around and I don't know how to turn the camera around in this, so I'm just going to kind of slightly move the camera, but this is a giant fossil piece.
Wow.
I don't know how much you saw that just because of the weird angle, but then, you know, what girlfriend wouldn't be happy if you showed up to this? Like, it's a super high quality AAA grade pink amethyst heart. This thing, it's massive compared to the size of my head.
It's not even a freaking paperweight. It's something else.
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole, let's just say in real estate terms, it's enough to keep all your closing documents down.
True. Very true.
So, you know, it's just, you have to, in this world, you have to expand. And that's just, you know, that's just some of the visual stuff we do, you know, the CBD and hemp business that we're in, you know, a lot of these Delta 8, you know, all these stuff that you see in stores for Delta 8 products, you know, especially if you're in the Morristown or Morris County area, chances are it comes from us. You know, not all of it. There's a ton of competition out there, but at 16 stores that we're in right now, it's got a pretty decent impact. Doesn't make a ton of money at this moment because people don't know a lot about it, but in, you know, the store location that we're looking at over here in Morris County, which is going to be my home location, you know, I'm bringing in a doctor to speak, you know, every couple of weeks that says, listen, these are the positive effects of CBD and hemp. You don't necessarily have to go get cannabis to get the positive side effects. You don't have to get high to feel better from the hemp flower, which is really all it is. And then we get more into production like that. We're looking at land right now to do hemp, you know, hemp farm, which, you know, isn't a THC farm. We're not looking to grow marijuana. We're looking to grow resources. And hemp can be used for fuel. It can be used for building.
Can they make clothing out of it too? I believe, right?
You can. I've never looked into the processing of it. I always looked at it more for, you know, if you can make toilet paper, can you make things that trees really cause a lot of issues for. You know, we want to keep those trees up there. If we can produce, if an acre of hemp can produce the equivalent of 100 acres of trees, why not? Find a way to make it help. You know, you can, a lot of benches nowadays in parks are being made out of recycled materials. Hemp, a lot of them are being made out of hemp, you know, recycled milk cartons. If you don't know, look at a lot of the benches out there. A lot of them have little messages on them saying this was made out of 100% recycled milk cartons. So there's a lot that we can do. I mean, real estate, I love. It's my passion. Like, I love just seeing that joy when somebody closes on a house, whether I make a $3,000 commission or 30. It doesn't really matter. It's that same joy.
Right.
You know, they work just as hard, you know, not just as hard. I mean, everybody's got their own level of work, but, you know, it's the same joy that you see. Whether it's an investor or a first-time home buyer, obviously the joy in the first-time home buyer is a lot more. The home investors, you know, the energy's there, but they're happy because that's a way that they can build for their family. So in reality, in this market, yes, real estate is the fastest way to freedom, but I wouldn't have been able to survive 20 and 21 without multiple sources of income.
That's a lot of people. You have to have different funnels people talk about, right? You got to have those side hustles to bring some money coming in. I'm a full-time teacher and I have my insurance business. I have connections. I do.
Yeah.
You have to keep things rolling because, you know, sometimes things do dry up and we have a pandemic that happened. You have to pivot and try different things. So getting involved, having conversations, and getting into these other avenues really helps out. I really want to go down the path, and we didn't even talk about this before we went live, is you are into your health at a huge amount right now, which is phenomenal. Congratulations, brother. Can you talk about that?
That was a lot of work. That was both, and I will tear up a little bit on this, but that was both an emotional and physical journey because that, you know, it didn't start off good. You know, I ended up catching E. coli, you know, in June or July of 2020. and that hurt. I lost 40 pounds in 3 weeks.
Holy cow.
So I didn't do a dime of business in that 3 week period, dude. I couldn't leave the bathroom, let alone my bedroom. And oh shit. Give me just 1 second. If you could pause, I gotta grab my charger.
So for those that are just joining us, please don't forget to hit the share button. Share this out on Webtalk. Share this out on other social media platforms. Make sure you are dropping a comment where you're watching us from. Hashtag live, hashtag replay. We love for those that are tuning in, but we also love engagement. We love seeing comments. We love seeing, opportunities that we can help others. And if the things that we're talking about are resonating with you, drop a couple emojis. Scott Gerard's been on already. I know he's here, rising entrepreneur, CEO of Webtalk Legends. Early on, I shared webtalklegends.com. Definitely, if you're wanting to grow your business, check out that platform, check out the Patreon, and check out the challenges, because it is an opportunity to take your and scale you on Webtalk by following processes. And it's important that if you're interested in being on the Webtalk Legends podcast, reach out to me. We'd love to share your story as we're sharing with John right now. So John's back after.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I didn't notice how much battery power this device this website takes. So it killed my battery from 30 to 5 in like 10 minutes. So
yeah. Those that are using StreamYard, try to use the laptop, because the phones definitely takes a lot.
Yeah, my laptop didn't like the site for some reason. It's an old Lenovo ThinkPad. It's great for what I need it for, but my Samsung is my
lifeline.
Yeah, dude. I lose this phone, I'm better off losing my bank card than I am my cell phone. If I have to go get a new, I dread the day I have to go get a new cell phone, because all my passwords are saved, everything's there. Like, moving it all, I'm just like, God damn, now it's going to take me 3 weeks just to get everything back in line, and then half the time it deletes 90% of the apps.
Yep.
So it's always a nightmare. Like, my phone is my lifeline. Luckily, knock on wood, I've never cracked the screen on a phone.
I'm with you. I'm knocking as well.
Sorry to get back to it. That the weight loss journey is tough. In those 3 to 4 weeks of just not being able to hold anything down, we didn't really know what was going on. It was up and down. They tested, they couldn't figure out what the hell it was. It was salmonella. Didn't end up being that. Went back in a month later after feeling better. I still wasn't 100%, but after feeling better, for a month, I hit the bathroom again. I'm like, what's going on? And, come to find out, I contracted E. coli. What it was from, who knows? I've learned to wash my vegetables a lot more thoroughly now. But at the end of the day, the drop from 280 pounds to where I'm at today wasn't just being sick. You have to change everything you do. I didn't like going to gluten-free bread. It tastes like bread. Does it get the job done for a sandwich? Yes, but nothing like biting into a fresh roll. Cutting out things like pizza. I've had pizza maybe twice, maybe 3 times in the last 2 years. Let me hold on a sec. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Door closed, and then my seat fell back because I've got my laptop hanging on the back of it. It takes a lot of work. You cut out what you eat. Do I still eat smash burger? Hell yeah, all day long. You just do it without cheese and a gluten-free bun. Nothing wrong with having a burger. Just don't put all that extra crap on it.
Right.
It's portion controls. Like I can't really eat more than, maybe a 6-ounce steak and a side of mashed potatoes before 3 or 4 bites in, I'm full. Once you train yourself to not eat so much, it's better. And then when you overeat, it actually hurts. It hurts you. Like you feel it. You feel drained, and I hate that feeling. So I try not to overeat as much as I can. But cutting out cheese, cutting out dairy, cutting out a lot of just little inflammatory things that upset your body. You got to learn. At the end of the day, you have to learn what your body's saying. If you're gassed,
they always say you only have one body, right? So you can't make excuses for you putting things into your body.
Exactly. You just listen to it. If you get heartburn after eating something spicy, stop. Your body's telling you something. It's, it reacts for a reason. We're all, I mean, we all eat shit during our month. I'm not perfect. My favorite food is wings, but I use the air fryer for it. I use a dry rub that's what's called low FODMAP friendly, because I have IBS now, which, what 90% of the world doesn't, 90% of this country doesn't see is that 42 million people in this country have IBS. A lot of it's caused by the shit food that we eat.
Yeah.
You stop eating that shit food, my stomach problems go away. And quickly. I used to at least, 2 to 3 times a week have to go to the bathroom after I ate something because it didn't agree. You listen to it. And eventually I figure out things that kill me. You put garlic in something, you're not going to see me for the rest of the night. Sorry. It's unfortunate, but you're as we all age, and we hate to admit it, shit changes. It's just like, one of the agents in our office brought up today, colon cancer is on a rise. I mean, I don't know if it's today or if it was yesterday, but the colon cancer awareness, it's real. Little stuff like that, you have to pay attention to in your life. It saved me when I got sick. I had to go through it, and they found, what were, if they would have kept on, would have been cancerous. So, little things like that, like when your doctor says, these are things that you should do by this time, I don't listen to doctors 100%. I'm not the biggest fan of them, especially the drug pushers. That does not excite me at all with things, as I don't even use much for painkillers anymore, unless my nerve issues are really acting up. I don't touch it. There's other ways to handle it, but sometimes you just can't. You can't get by it. But I tell my doctor, don't give me more than this. Don't allow this. Like you almost have to do it to avoid this epidemic that we still have on us, which isn't the virus. It's the epidemic of shit being fed to us daily. Crap food, crap medicine. Go out there and heal yourself in a different way. And that's why I got into the Delta 8 hemp products. It's better for you. It's whether it's Delta 8 hemp, whether you use THC, which, I don't care. It's a plant that was put here to help. So, whoever it was, whether you believe in God or whether you believe in, just natural growth of existence, it's there to help us. And just like hemp, going back into the days of making marijuana illegal, the whole point of that was to ban hemp for logging and oil-based companies. Petroleum was the same one that was pushing these drugs that we currently take today. So that's why I heavily focus on that. It all intertwines. Real estate, the product itself, to get the real estate locations we're looking at, you've got to know the owners and you've got to know the zoning for that area. So hemp, CBD, all that stuff always goes back to real estate, which is why those things all complement each other. That's where kind of crystals fall into it. If you haven't noticed, the natural healing side of the country and the world in general is heavily growing. People are going back to more natural bases. They're going back to, using natural energy sources if they can. And that involves crystals. If you just look at in New Jersey alone, just in the last 2 years, we've gone from 5 crystal stores in the entire state to over 4 dozen.
Wow.
It's growing. And 4 dozen is what I could just see. That's not including small businesses, super small businesses, online businesses, or the warehouses or distributors. This is just storefronts. And that's just the ones I can find. Not everybody does marketing. Not everybody knows Google. We might know this, but I can't get onto a system. I wouldn't know how to use 90% of what most people use today. I know what I know to need to survive. I rely on the experts for everything else.
Right.
That's what they're in that expertise for. I don't know insurance. I trust my insurance adjuster.
Yeah.
So, and that's, exactly, insurance. That's a perfect example. I didn't even think about it. That's a perfect example. You have to trust your insurance adjuster. It's not a field. If you don't know it, pretty much keep your mouth shut on it. Right. At the end of the day, let pay to have other people handle it. It's cheaper for you at the end of the day. Trust me.
How do you get a grip on your day? You have a lot of things going on. Are you one that's very, using an online calendar? Do you have a book you write stuff in? You're not flying.
I have my basic calendar, but that's for appointments with clients and the basic things that I need to do. At the end of the day, I'm always working. I wake up at the earliest at probably 3:30 every day, no later than 5:30. I don't sleep. Like after this phone call, this is honestly a super late call for me. Normally I'm in bed within the next half hour. There's no need for me to be up past this. I wake up and I can start doing all that paperwork and all the stuff that most people are doing it at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm finishing by 5, 6 o'clock.
Yep. Smart.
Like I handle, I keep a constant eye on my emails. Like my phone never really leaves my sight. Even when I go to bed at night, it's there because I know with my stomach issues, I'm going to be up. If I'm going to be up, I might as well be productive. So am I 100% productive that whole time? Of course not. Because I don't need to be. Between 4 and 8, nobody's doing anything.
You're not going to get distracted. That's what usually happens when people go to an office and they talk, they're having coffee, nothing's getting done, but you can just crush out 4 hours real quick, 3 hours, whatever you can get in, and you're getting more done in a shorter period of time. That's a key thing that people have to take away. You don't have to always work 8 to 10 hours. You could work.
You don't.
And those 8 to 10 hours are not productive, as you said.
Just on paper for real estate last year, I made $86,000. I barely put any in reality hours wise, nowhere near a 40-hour week. I mean, if you take the phone calls, late night events like this, the driving into perspective, yes, I definitely work more hours than that, but it's done in a fashion where I don't feel like I'm having to work my ass off every day. I wake up early so that around 11, in between 11 and 4, I can take a nap if I want to. A lot of the time, if you try to call me between 2 and 3:30, I'm probably taking a nap.
Yeah, if you don't sleep, you're gonna have to get some kind of rest at some point in the day.
I mean, but it's what's needed. It helps. Everybody else takes lunch. I take that time to take a nap because I snack throughout my day. Like, a little pack of almonds just sitting here.
Yeah,
that would get me by for a little bit, but enough to kind of get my day going. But it's the freedom of working for yourself is exhilarating. Is it time consuming? Do I probably spend 3 times more hours per week than a normal person doing stuff? Yes. But that gives me the ability in 15 years to just step back.
Right.
Like one of the hardest things to see was, during COVID, and she might get angry for me bringing this up, but my partner, my girlfriend Veronica, lost her job during COVID, as did 90% of the population. And that's really what pushed us into the crystal business more, was because of that. And we started doing shows. Like we were making anywhere between $1,300 to $2,000 per show. And sometimes we were doing 2 shows a month. That was making up her income right there alone. And then we were doing, Facebook lives, Instagram lives. Like we supplemented her income in the first month. And it slows down obviously through December and, through the cold months when the events aren't going on and stuff. But, we're going ahead in right this spring. We were going to do an event this weekend, but with the weather, we're not going to do it, but that's going to go on again in a month. And there's 5 or 6 more events next month. We'll make 10 to 15 grand with the crystal business next month if we do it right.
Never even knew about this. This is like awesome.
It's an untapped market that's growing that nobody sees. Like this heart that I showed you earlier. This is $400. It's a massive piece, but as you can see, it's bigger than my hand is.
Yeah.
Almost probably weighs close to 6 to 7 pounds. So it's things like that people they love it. It's got that certain amount of energy. Instead of wasting their money on a stupid bag or a pair of shoes or something, this crystal at the end of the day is an investment. No different. I mean, different obviously in its uses and shapes, but no different than this piece of gold right here.
Right. And we have some people in our community that are into gold and silver and all that. So it's
right. And if Neil Darrow gets this, if you guys are ever looking for somebody to make gold coins or silver coins, Neil Darrow out of Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania is the man. This is one of his pieces of work. So it's just, it's a whole new world. 2020, although it did hurt a lot of people, opened up the possibilities that I've never seen before. Never even thought about. I was happy doing real estate in the billboard trucks, which is still around, but it's something that even throughout all of this still skips my mind. And that's 4 vehicles right there. The truck, the little billboard truck we have, and then 3 trailers. It's another business that I don't even think of 90% of the time because I'm not there doing anything with it. I don't need to. I've got somebody else. And I forget it. It's not set it and completely forget it, but manage it right. They're not working right now just due to issues at the DMV. Getting any kind of registration is a nightmare right now.
Oh, I'm sure.
And especially with commercial stuff, out of state transfers, it's ridiculous. So they're not working right now. But once those things get up and start moving, those things will make us $3,000 to $4,000 a week if utilized 100% and correctly. It's just keeping people don't understand the power of money. It's I always look at it at a smaller aspect because I grew up with nothing. I didn't have anything growing up, and in reality, in a scope of things, I still don't have a lot. It's setting myself up for those things.
Yes.
So that way, in 10 years, an empire doesn't grow overnight. It takes time. It takes grind, and people don't understand. Yes, you can go spend $1,000 on a new cell phone. Great. That phone's not going to be worth shit in 10 months. Sorry. That's why I'm still with this old janky Note 10 that I have that causes me nothing but issues, never charges, and the battery always dies. But I don't want to go out and pay $50 a month for a new phone. It's more than that now. The new Note 20 Plus that I'm looking at, that's anything relatively close to what this one is, it's like $1,400. That's almost $60 a month. I'm like, no, I'll work this thing until it just dies on me if I can. Until it becomes an issue, I'm going to work it until it dies.
You also don't want to worry about all those passwords you got to change. That's your biggest issue too.
that's a massive part of the decision, because the changing of all that, even though it is saved under the Samsung Pass or whatever all that crap is, you still have to do it. I still have to get my Samsung Pay. I still got to upload all those cards again, like fingerprint, eye scan. Hell, just to access my Chase banking app is going to be a fucking nightmare. You know, it's just because I don't remember any of those passwords. They're all saved. You know, I don't have the time nor the space to write down all my passwords somewhere. I mean, let alone if somebody gets a hold of them, I'm screwed.
Oh, yeah.
So I just let my phone save them. If I forget it, I go through the password reset setup. But
no, man, this has been an awesome conversation. We had some Scott Gerard said he wants to get some Webtalk Legends coins and like that in the future. And we had Will Caldwell was on, and so a bunch of you, thank you for coming. Hashtag live if you're on now, and hashtag replay. Wait till this uploads and get the beginning of what we started. And I appreciate you, John, coming on and sharing your story, man. This is an awesome time.
All right, yeah, thank you guys. If you want to, just a little shout out to business. The team is United, United Real Estate. It's the Impact Real Estate Group. And then if you guys want any of these beautiful crystals, if you reach out to me on either my personal Facebook, which is just John Roderick, or you reach out to us on TikTok at Cloud9 Crystals, let me know, and everybody from the show will get 15% on crystals tonight, including the beautiful amethyst heart. Every girlfriend and wife wants a big piece like that. So,
oh man, that's an awesome thing. And definitely check out John on WebTalk. His link is right there, scrolling on the bottom. And till the next one, we hope you have an awesome rest of your day, wherever you're watching us from.
All right, everybody, have a good one.